The Thomas-built safety liner HDX was already problematic when it entered widespread service, and drivers knew it. The Cummins engine overheated constantly during long routes, and breakdowns left kids stranded. Drivers felt anxious, knowing mechanical failure was likely on every run. While some maintenance fixes were attempted, the fundamental design issues remained. The HDX never truly improved in reliability and frustrated drivers across multiple districts. Drivers disliked the Bluebird conventional because it was heavy to steer and exhausting on long routes. The manual steering wore out drivers physically, leaving them with severe arm fatigue by afternoon runs. Visibility was actually decent, but the lack of power steering made tight subdivisions a physical ordeal. Air conditioning was often broken or non-existent, making summer routes with screaming kids unbearable. Although some districts upgraded components, the basic discomfort never went away. Many drivers were relieved when newer power-assisted models finally replaced them. The International 3800 was hated for feeling dangerously underpowered on highway merges. Drivers complained it strained badly on hills and struggled when fully loaded with students. The braking system was weak and required constant pressure, making emergency stops nerve-wracking. Engine fires were disturbingly common in early models, creating real safety fears. Minor improvements were made to some systems, but the core problems persisted. The 3800 never earned driver trust and was retired early from many fleets. The Ward M1A1 school bus body terrified many drivers, especially in crosswinds. The lightweight fiberglass body flexed and swayed unpredictably on highways at speed. Drivers felt disconnected from the road, requiring constant steering correction. Heating systems frequently failed, leaving drivers freezing during early morning winter routes. While some structural reinforcements improved rigidity slightly, the handling characteristics remained unforgiving. Drivers who operated it daily never felt truly comfortable transporting children at highway speeds. The Crown Supercoach was rushed into service with chronic reliability issues from the start. Drivers hated how the electrical systems malfunctioned constantly, causing dashboard failures. The automatic transmission slipped badly, creating jerky rides that made students nauseous. Overheating plagued early models, especially during hot afternoon runs in southern states. Although later versions received updates, many drivers remembered it as unreliable and frustrating. The Supercoach never fully escaped its troubled reputation among veteran school bus operators. Early IC bus CE drivers struggled with suspension systems that seemed designed to fail constantly. Air leaks affected ride quality and braking performance simultaneously when bags deflated. The seating position was awkward and uncomfortable, making 8-hour shifts torture on the spine. Drivers complained about poor rear-view mirror placement and massive blind spots around the hood. Over time, some districts found better maintenance schedules, but the inherent design problems remained. Many drivers celebrated when their routes finally got newer RE series replacements. The Carpenter body on Chevy chassis was widely disliked for feeling cheap and poorly assembled. Drivers reported constant rattling, loose body panels, and failing components, even on buses under warranty. The high step-up height caused student injuries regularly, leading to parent complaints and liability concerns. Engine noise from the doghouse was excessive, making it impossible to hear radio dispatch clearly. Attempts to improve build quality had mixed results at best. The Carpenter never gained respect and was seen as a budget mistake by most professional drivers. Early Thomas-built Minotour drivers feared the rear engine design that overheated constantly in traffic. Acceleration was dangerously slow when fully loaded, creating hazards at busy intersections. The engine access required lifting seats, making roadside troubleshooting nearly impossible with kids aboard. Climate control was primitive and ineffective, with rear students either freezing or roasting. While later versions got improved cooling systems, early drivers endured stressful routes that felt genuinely unsafe. The Wayne Lifeguard divided opinions, but many drivers found it structurally unsound for daily use. The body-on-chassis attachment points failed frequently, causing alarming squeaks and flexing over railroad tracks. Driver seats were poorly designed with no lumbar support, leading to chronic back problems. The turning radius was surprisingly wide for a short bus, making cul-de-sacs frustrating. Some procedural improvements were made over time, but the bus itself never became truly dependable or comfortable. Drivers distrusted the superior coach because it felt more experimental than practical for student transport. The all-steel construction made it extremely heavy, killing fuel economy and engine longevity. Door mechanisms jammed regularly in cold weather, trapping students inside during emergencies. Heater access required removing dashboard components, making winter repairs a nightmare. Minor upgrades helped slightly, yet the design never fully matured into reliability. Drivers hated operating it, despite its theoretical safety advantages over lighter alternatives. The Bluebird TC2000 frustrated drivers because it entered service before critical visibility problems were solved. The flat front design created a massive blind spot directly in front, hiding entire rows of students. The Detroit diesel engine was loud, smoky, and prone to complete failure on routes. Door controls were poorly positioned, causing drivers to accidentally open doors at speed. Later mirror improvements and better training made it somewhat safer. However, many drivers still remembered the early models as genuinely dangerous in school zones. The Built MB2 was powerful, but drivers disliked how punishing it felt in daily operation. The air suspension created a bouncy, unstable ride that made students motion sick regularly. Brake maintenance was excessive, requiring weekly inspections and constant pad replacements. The bus demanded precision during tight backing maneuvers and left zero room for error. While training programs improved over time, its handling characteristics never softened. Experienced drivers managed it adequately, but many described it as exhausting compared to conventional leaf springs. The Crown Firecoach earned a troubled reputation among rural route drivers. Its propane conversion system was unreliable and frequently leaked, creating explosion fears. Engine access was difficult and time-consuming, making pre-trip inspections take twice as long. Emergency exit windows stuck closed regularly, failing safety inspections and creating liability issues. Although some improvements were attempted over the years, the core design problems remained. It never became truly safe, and drivers actively avoided being assigned these buses. Drivers found the Wayne Papoose sleek-looking but mechanically temperamental in actual service. The automatic transmission failed constantly, stranding buses mid-route with kids aboard. The bus became known for electrical gremlins that caused random gauge failures and warning lights. While it handled adequately when everything worked correctly, reliability concerns never went away. Minor improvements helped slightly over its service life, but frustration remained common among operators who drew short straws. Operating the Collins bus felt technically outdated, yet oddly stressful for special needs routes. Drivers appreciated its wheelchair lift capacity, but hated the complicated hydraulic systems. Diagnostic capabilities were non-existent, with failures requiring dealer service instead of fleet maintenance. Replacement parts were expensive and difficult to source quickly for emergency repairs. While some upgrades improved certain systems, the overcomplicated nature never disappeared entirely. Drivers often preferred older, simpler buses for reliability, even with less modern features. The Girardin MB2 made drivers uneasy because it never felt structurally sound at speed. Drivers worried about frame flex and body separation over rough rural roads. It was difficult to maintain properly and prone to serious rust issues in salt belt states. Visibility was compromised by thick A-pillars that created dangerous blind spots at intersections. Although maintenance procedures improved slightly over the years, the core reliability concerns remained. Drivers never fully trusted it with special needs students, requiring safe, smooth transport. Drivers feared the Thomas-built conventional with Caterpillar diesel because it demanded constant attention. The CAT engine required expensive maintenance intervals that districts struggled to afford properly. The clutch was heavy and unforgiving, causing knee problems for drivers on hilly routes. While it looked professional and parents trusted its appearance, it punished driver mistakes severely. Some upgrades improved reliability marginally, but operational costs remained prohibitively high. Many districts sold them early, and drivers who operated them daily never described them fondly.